All right, hi, my name is Matthew Larrieu. Today we are going to be talking about the NFL mock draft in this podcast. I am joined alongside Landon Thomas, who is an avid college football watcher and keeps up with the transfer portal, recruits, scouts for the combine just as well as anyone I know. He's also a very big NFL fan, a Cleveland Browns fan to be specific. But today we are going to be sharing our top 10 picks. This is a very top 10 heavy draft, a very interesting order. We see teams that we don't usually see, like the Chiefs in this, so it's going to be very interesting to see who goes where. This is a very, very talented draft class, and we're going to start by explaining our picks, going one by one on each list, and kind of debating as well as agreeing with each other on some of these, I imagine. So, Landon, what are your big takeaways from the Combine, from the free agency thus far after the Super Bowl, just everything going into this draft that we need to know?
I think my biggest takeaway from this draft class is there's no quarterbacks really besides Fernando, but I'm still really uneasy on Fernando. I know he had a great season, but I think he was kind of in a really good system. But I'm super high on Drew Aller, which sounds crazy. Not as a first rounder, but maybe late second, early third. I think he's a great quarterback. He just was coached by James Franklin, which we all know is not the most ideal situation.
It's not Kirk Signetti, so
Yeah.
that's kind of the point we're making here with this one. But as much as I love Fernando, you gotta love the guy. But
I really like Drew Aller. I think he could be a lot like Josh Allen if it pans out. If it pans out, you're kind of drafting him based on his upside, which is always a good thing to do.
absolutely. I guess the biggest takeaway I have before we start sharing our picks is the top 10 is going to be so confusing. I don't know if there's going to be any trades. I personally, in mind, did not put any trades since they're so hard to predict. I don't know if there's going to be any trades, which teams are going where, or which players are going to which team. I just can't really tell. From every mock draft I've seen outside of my own, they're all over. There's not really one definitive, like, this guy's going to this place outside of that first pick. So it'll be fun. With that being said, let's start. So I'm going to share my pick, and then Landon's going to go, and we're going to kind of debate and talk and get some good takeaways going into the draft for everyone listening. So first overall in this draft is the Las Vegas Raiders after a pretty devastating season. But Fernando Mendoza is going to Vegas. I know we are kind of ripping on him a bit earlier there, kind of calling him a Signetti product, which, who knows, hopefully he proves us wrong. But at the end of the day, he's a Heisman. He's a national champion. He was the face of college football this past year. They need a quarterback. Gino, I'm sorry, your time's up. I think it's a pretty easy pick.
Yeah, I have the exact same thing. I don't know why they would take anyone else. They're in dire needs of a quarterback. There's really no explaining to it. And like we said, we think he might be a system guy, but he is still really good.
It's worth the pick for sure.
Definitely. But the only thing I was thinking about is I didn't put any trades in my top 10 either, but I could totally see, I don't know if they would do it top 10, but Vegas may try to move up within the top 15, top 20 to try and grab him a receiver, because they also don't have too many guys in the receiver room.
They really don't have any guys in their offense, period. The O-line's pretty tragic. I mean, you got Genty, but again, with the terrible O-line, what are you doing?
Yeah, they also may try to trade up to get an O-lineman because they still have to develop something to go for Ashton Genty.
Absolutely. Not much talking here, really. It is kind of obvious that Fernando is going first overall. If I don't hear his name called, I'm going to be shocked, jaw to the floor. But, yeah, I think that's pretty obvious. Here's where the draft starts. Pick 2. Who the heck is going? There's a lot of different ways you can go with this, and it's crazy saying that at pick 2, like I said, but I think the New York Jets are bringing Arvell Reese, a linebacker, a playmaker. He can play edge as well. He's a freak out of Ohio State. We know how Ohio State guys, specifically on defense, pan out in the league. You've seen guys like the only real big generational prospect that didn't pan out the league from Ohio State was Jeff Okudah in 2020. Other than that, they're all hits. So I think it's
maybe Chase Young.
Chase Young, yeah.
I mean, he hasn't played like a second overall pick. He's still really good.
He's still good,
not.
but he's not like he's not like one of the best in the edge rushers in the league. He was expected to. But I'm talking about flat out busts. You don't see that much. I think Arvell Reese will be a hit. Their roster is so depleted. You just go next best. What's your take?
Yeah, I like your pick, but I switched it up a little bit. I have Arvell Reese falling pretty far. I took David Bailey out of Texas Tech.
That combine, man.
Yeah, his combine. My biggest thing for him was, Texas Tech looked lost against Oregon, but he was the one player that stood out and looked like he could compete in a Big Ten game, and I would imagine an SEC game. He just looked NFL ready. He's a freak athlete. He's huge. I don't know how they could go wrong, because they also are probably going to try and replace Quentin Nelson, right?
Is it Quentin Nelson I'm thinking of?
No,
No.
I'm Calamari.
Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen Williams. Yeah, I don't know why I said Nelson.
I was blanking too. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, they're probably going to try to replace that.
Which was a good trade. I did like that. You need draft capital when you're that depleted, and he's getting older. He was a 2019 pick. I mean,
yeah.
So I think it was a smart trade.
And in my opinion, and I think a lot of people agree, your D-line, your edge rushers are probably your most important guys on defense.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that's the move they take. But I could totally see them taking Arvell Reese, too. They're kind of just – you never know what they're going to do. But the thing is, if they take David Bailey, he's probably going to be bad because he's going to New York, because that's just how it works.
Pretty much.
Unfortunately.
I hate to be the hater, but here we go.
Yeah.
I will say this, though, to everyone listening. Count how many times we say freak athlete, because these linebackers and edge rushers are monsters this year. And that's why it's so hard to predict. Guys like Bailey, Reese, Styles, Bain, even Falk for that matter, are all so crazy. They could go anywhere at any time. So I think it's going to be really interesting in that sense for the top 10.
Very interesting.
Here is my stretch. I'm grabbing at straws with this one, but he had an amazing combine. He's a phenomenal talent, and I could see the Cardinals doing this. Number 3rd overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals select Jeremiah Love, running back from Notre Dame. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I want to jazz things up a bit because I want to have the discussion about Love. We need to talk about him a good bit before we end this podcast. That's a fact. I want to see where he goes. I think it's a stretch to take, again, the positional value for a running back is very low compared to what it used to be 20 years ago. But this is a phenomenal player. His combine's insane. You know you're getting a hit out of him. And with Kyler Murray leaving and Brissett probably going to be the starter, you need to just kind of help the offense out a little bit and open it up more than just McBride and MHJ.
Yeah, so you want to help the offense out, but unfortunately there is no offense, and I don't even think it's a quarterback issue there. I wouldn't even say it's a running back issue. I think their O-line is just so bad because they refuse to draft O-linemen for some reason in the first round, and they have forever. So I have Spencer Fano out of Utah. I think they finally pull the trigger and do it. He's extremely athletic for how big he is. That's why I took him over Francis Malioa. I feel like he's almost a lock to go to Arizona. They've seemed pretty high on him, but they definitely could do something else because they're Arizona. Who knows what they'll do? Maybe they'll draft Diego Pavia at 3.
Right. I just wanted to kind of have a little bit of fun with this one because I know how generational this guy is, and I know how many NFL teams are just blown away with his combine. But you have a great point. You do need to, you got to get some strength in the trenches, and they refuse to do that. So I like the Fano pick a lot. I think any tackle pick at this point for them is a great pick.
Yeah, I just don't really see them taking a running back, especially with, you kind of look at his game logs, the way he played against, they play 3-2 ranked games every year because they have the weakest schedule ever. And every single one of those games, he's averaging around, if he's lucky, 4 yards a carry. So I'm not sure how generational Jeremiah Love really is. I think he's extremely overrated. They're playing Southeastern crap state every week down there in South Bend. So I'm just not as high. I think he's a top 10 pick. I'm just not as high on him as most people.
I agree. I think that he is a very big hit or miss player. It's high risk, high reward.
When we're talking top 5, we're talking, Bijan Robinson and Saquon Barkley, and Jeremiah Love, in my eyes, is nowhere near them. We're talking about a guy who had 33 yards rushing against Texas A&M.
I think it's so hard to judge one game, though, because he has potential. Insane potential.
Yeah, but are you going to use your 3rd pick based upon potential? Sorry, he had 33 yards against Miami.
It's the Cardinals, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my counter argument.
I guess they do draft on potential because they drafted Kyler Murray at 1.
That's what I'm saying.
Which I think he was honestly good. I mean, let's not forget his All-Pro year.
He's great. But
they refused to draft O-line, so it
what was that? 2020? His All-Pro year. What would you say it was?
It might have been 21. 2020 was his 2nd year, right? In the league.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I think it was his 3rd year. Maybe I don't remember honestly.
Anyways, let's get to this 4th pick. Tennessee Titans. This is where I have David Bailey going. Again, Reese and Bailey and ours could just flip-flop. They really could. We've talked about this edge rusher in a linebacker class, so it's so hard to tell who will go where, but I think David Bailey. If Arvell Reese goes 2nd, David Bailey goes 4th to these teams. Those are the first 2 teams, I think, taking linebackers or edge rushers.
Yeah, like I said, I have Arvell Reese falling, so I actually went with Ruben Bain here because they've talked about how they want an edge. I think Tennessee's either. I mean, there's only three positions they'll probably take, which is an edge, a tackle, or a receiver, and I think they'll take Ruben Bain after the way he played against really everyone in the playoffs. He looked like the best player on the field. He was in the backfield every single play. He's just an all-around great player. I don't know how you would pass on him. I don't think I would ever take Arvell Reese over him. Um, but I mean, maybe I would, but they strictly need an edge rusher, so they probably go with the D end over a linebacker, in my opinion. Um, that's just why I have Ruben Bain there.
That's very fair. I mean, Bane's a monster, and for a while he was going to be like the second overall pick, and he still really might. I mean, like I said, there's no telling with these guys who play in the front seven on defense where they're going. So I mean, he really might be as high as two. But
Yeah,
I did kind
definitely.
of want to jazz it up because I want to have more of these discussions. So I decided to put Bailey at 4.
Mm-hmm.
But getting into number 5, the Giants. This might be the hardest prediction for me so far. It really might because I've seen them go in with Carnell Tate, receiver, keep the offense explosive.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them going with Caleb Downs. I mean, Caleb Downs is going to be a great safety. Why not grab him at 5?
Mm-hmm.
I've even been seeing them going with Arvell Reese a few times, linebackers, and all these mock drafts. But here's where I'm going. My head is with Francis Mauigoa. I think Francis Mauigoa is a great tackle. I think Fano could be better. I don't know. I'm going to let you speak on that because I didn't watch Fano as nearly as much. But I'm going Mauigoa. I think keep Jackson Dart upright, keep his jersey clean, make his life easier. Neighbors gets back, Scattaboo. All these guys are amazing. You got to keep them clean, though. You got to keep them upright and make their lives easier. Build strength in the trenches. It's never a bad thing to go grab a tackle top 10.
Yeah, I actually have the same pick. I have Francis too. He might be better than Fano. I just don't. When you have a mobile quarterback, I don't know if he's the best quarterback because they're going to roll out of the pocket. And if I'm not wrong, he's like 7 foot, 400 pounds. So he's not exactly the fastest mover, but he is an anchor and for a tackle. And like you said, they have a young, promising quarterback, and they've got to build a no line around him. The running back room is a little questionable. I don't know if Scatterbo's your franchise guy, but he can get the job done for now. I don't think they'll take another receiver because they have Malik Neighbors. Maybe they sign someone like I don't even know who it would be, but if I'm not wrong, they still have Darius Slayton, which he's pretty solid, and they can always take someone in the third, fourth round because it's a really loaded receiver draft. Like there's guys like Surratt out of Indiana where
Jacoby Lane out of USC.
Yeah. There's guys you can grab in the second or third round. So I don't think they would draft Carnell Tate. I don't think it's the right move for them, but maybe they would.
Who knows? We'll see. I mean, Carnell Tate's an Ohio State receiver, so they might just get excited about
Yeah,
doing that.
and like I've said before, well, we'll just get into it later. We'll talk about him later.
But I've got Mauigoa, you've got Mauigoa.
Yeah.
I think just build the trenches up, keep Jackson Dart's live easier.
I think, and if they don't take Malioa, it's going to be because Spencer Fano fell. Spencer Fano I feel like, I mean, he's proven to be good, but you are drafting him a little bit more on potential because he's playing. I hate to be this guy, but he's playing in the Big 12, and we know the Big 12 isn't quite on par with the Big 10 and the SEC. Those D lines they're just a lot better. Even some guys in the ACC. That's where Francis has proven himself, but Spencer Fano, I think, would be perfectly fine in a bigger conference like that.
It's funny you mention that because that kind of leads me into the 6th pick for your Cleveland Browns. Let me say that. Let me put some emphasis on it. You said that the only reason they might not take Mauigoa at 5 is because Fano fell, but I have them taking Mauigoa at 5 and y'all taking Fano at 6. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts about that. I know that probably makes you a bit happier.
Yeah, I would love to have him. I've seen a lot of mock drafts too like that. I don't think he's gonna fall because I even think there's a possibility like if the Cardinals don't take one of these tackles, I could totally see Tennessee doing it just for the sake of Cam Ward because I mean, their O-line's not terrible, but they could totally use a top 5 pick type of offensive tackle. Like that's always kind of what you do after you draft a rookie quarterback. So I just don't. I think the Browns want one of these guys. I just don't know that they're going to be there.
I get that, and I honestly kind of agree with you, but I really do just for some reason, and I can't even explain it. Like I wish I could explain it. I feel like Mauigoa is going before. And I'm not saying it's a good pick. I'm saying I'm just going to predict it happening.
Yeah, that definitely could happen.
And it could be the playoff bias that he played in the Natty, even though that wasn't even like all him at all because their team was just amazing. But they could be there could be a bit more of like a hype around him because of that. Is my thing. So
Yeah, well, he's also 7 foot, 400 pounds, so there's a good chance he does go above him.
it's basically just getting a vending machine to block your quarterback. So.
Yeah, that can move quite quickly.
So yeah, but anyways, let's go to the Commanders, number 7. I think they're going defense here.
Oh, I haven't. Hang on, I've got the Browns taking Carnell Tate.
Oh wait, I completely skipped it.
Oh, you're good. But I have the Browns taking Carnell Tate just because he's there. Obviously we have to get our Pro Bowl quarterback, someone to throw the ball to, and Shedeur Sanders. Hopefully they draft another quarterback this year.
I mean, what, top 3 quarterback ever already? So yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Browns use their late first round to either take Ty Simpson or they wait till the second and take a guy like Drew Aller.
I agree, but I mean, you might as well get a weapon first round, right?
Yeah, I think Carnell Tate's would have been a lock for a top 5 pick if Jeremiah Smith didn't exist. I mean, he checks all the boxes. He's 6'3", 6'4", 220 pounds, runs a 4.4, doesn't drop anything. I'm confused why he's not a lock for top 5. I think it's just because Jeremiah Smith exists, so he didn't get to show it all off.
I agree. I think that's very fair. But
And I truly do think if Jeremiah Smith didn't exist, I think Carnell Tate would probably be the best receiver in college football.
That's also fair. I mean, it did the amount of receptions he got was very altered due to Jeremiah Smith, so we'll see. He is really great though, and you can always bank on an Ohio State receiver to do well in the league, so just take him. Number 7, the Washington Commanders. I think they go defense pretty clearly here. Like, I don't think it's really confusion, and I've got them probably the biggest riser after the combine. Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. This guy is a freak. I mean, again, I knew we were going to say that a lot, but he is just a freak athlete. He can play edge rusher. The best linebacker combine of all time. He put up the best numbers. It's crazy. It is crazy to me. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. I do like him. I could definitely put him there, but the only reason I didn't was because I had Arvell Reese falling, like I said earlier. So I have Washington taking Arvell Reese, and like you said, they're going to take defense probably no matter what, unless maybe one of these O linemen fell, even though they don't need it. But you can't pass on it. So I have Arvell Reese there. I don't know how they would pass on him if he did fall there. That's
totally agree.
Kind of the only reason I put him there.
That's very fair. That's very fair. Again, these linebackers, I've said it 20 times already, but I need to emphasize it. They could flip spots so easily. Mm-hmm. We won't know until draft night.
There's a possibility we see 3 Ohio State defensive players go top 10, which is crazy.
Which is kind of, I don't know if that's ever been done before, but
yeah, it's absurd.
Anyways, here we go. My New Orleans Saints. This is just the fanboy in me, but I'm getting Carnell Tate. It could happen. I've seen a lot of mock drafts with it happening. Pair him up with Olave, help Shuck out. Just get a playmaker, get a weapon. You built the trenches last year with Banks, with guys like Stutzman, Quincy Riley, Jonas Sanker. I think you go get a fancier pick and go get Carnell Tate. That's if he's on the board, which, like I said, he could go to Cleveland. He could go to New York. There's a chance he could go to Tennessee.
Yeah, so, I definitely agree with that. I don't think he's there, but if he was, that's definitely what they would probably do.
If he is, then they're sprinting to the podium to pick him.
Took a little bit of a reach here from me. I actually have the Saints taking Jeremiah Love. I mean, you guys, Alvin Kamara is awesome, but it's time to move on.
Yeah, you can't live in the 2017 era in 2026, and I agree. I mean, let's be real here. Like, I don't even know if it's that much of a stretch just because I see so many mock drafts with the Saints getting Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, and kind of right now, the only thing you're really working with is for your future is Devin Neal. Love Devin Neal. He's actually my dear friend, but I don't know if he's exactly your
top 5 back type of guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's a franchise guy, but he'll still do great.
He's a phenomenal second option. Love him, but let's open the offense up a bit more. I like the pick.
Yeah. But if they don't do that, I mean, there's also Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson. Neither of us are super high on Jordan Tyson either, but
it's not that Jordan Tyson is spoiler. I don't have Tyson going top 10 in this, and I'm sure you don't either.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that he's bad. He's great. There's a reason he's ranked as the best receiver in the class. It's more of the fact that 1, I don't trust his competition, and 2, I don't trust his legs. Yeah. He is made of glass, and he seems like a great guy. I've seen interview clips of him just talking. He seems a lot like a locker room guy. Almost every coach at Arizona State said he's just such a leader. But I don't want to risk it when your knees are made of glass,
Yeah, I agree with that. Because Olave's already going to be out 6 games anyway, so.
Pretty much. Here's where the Chiefs sprint up to get the guy you had going way earlier in Ruben Bain. If he's available, I mean, I know a lot of Chiefs fans, they all want Bain. Bain's a monster. I don't care about the concerns about his arms being short. He's a monster. He played lights out when all the lights were on in college football in the playoffs. He's a monster. He's a freak athlete. He's a big dude. He can put instant pressure on just about any quarterback. He takes a lot of O-line work to get him stopped. So I just think you just go and get Bain. They need edge rush. They need a D-line. They need the trenches. Go get Bain.
Yeah. If he's there, that's definitely who they'll
And that's a
take.
big if.
Yeah, I think their top two right now would probably be Ruben Bain or Jeremiah Love. I think they'll both be gone. So I took a reach here. They're taking Keldrick Falk out of Auburn.
Next best edge rusher. Might as well. Play at SEC competition. Why not?
Yeah, I don't really know how much I believe in him, but I think that's just who they would take. And he'd probably work out. Most guys work out in Kansas City. And you're right, SEC competition, that's normally where the D-line comes out of.
I like the pick. I know you said it was a reach, but it's a fair pick. But with number 10, the Cincinnati Bengals, you know you're going defense. Your defense is a high school defense.
It's like a 2018 Oklahoma defense with Lincoln Riley.
It's just not good.
It's like you playing out there and me.
All right.
You would do better.
But this is where they draft Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Caleb Downs is just going to be a great NFL player. He is a monster safety, and there's that positional value thing where you don't want a safety. But just take him. Your secondary couldn't guard a fence. Go and grab him. Go grab Caleb Downs. I could even see Mansour Delane, corner out of LSU, going. But I think Caleb Downs is much more of like a lock to be like an all-pro type of guy. Go get him. Let him be like a young pivotal leader on this defense and secondary and help Burrow and Jamar out a little bit.
Yeah, and I think if you put Caleb Downs in last year's draft, he's probably a top 3 pick. I actually have the same thing. I have Caleb Downs going. The only way I don't think he goes to Cincinnati is if I could see the Chiefs taking him.
I could even see the Commanders taking him.
Yeah, so there's other people that may take him, but the Chiefs, they just traded McDuffie, and I know Caleb's a safety, but he can play anything he wants.
Also, they're both secondary players. Just kind of get a secondary replacement of talent.
But I think he'll end up in Cincinnati, which sucks, but that's probably what's going to happen.
That's very fair. I mean, I think I'm really high on him.
He could dip more. I don't know if you saw. He has a partially torn ACL right now.
That's why I don't have him going top 5 anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't have the Giants taking him. Injury concerns are big. As great as he is, there's so many other players you can bank on to be great defensive players. That's why I have guys like Bain, Reese, Styles, and all them going way earlier.
Yeah, but maybe the Bengals just do what they always do, and they just draft another receiver.
Yeah, no one can guard them, but they can't guard anyone either.
Yeah,
so
maybe they just take Malachi Lemon. Right?
So all their games are just going to end 55-54, pretty much.
Yeah, there's a possibility maybe the Rams trade up and grab someone right there.
I don't think so, just because they traded their 29th pick for McDuffie, which was a good trade. You got a good corner who's not old yet, and he's a veteran that's not old.
But that's kind of why I'm thinking they trade up, though, because there's a lot of talks of them wanting another receiver.
I think they go corner, but that should be a completely separate podcast. I think we can do 11 through 20 at some point and continue this. That'd be really cool. So we'll see. I think this is a great class. I think there's a lot that's happening. Again, we have such different mock drafts, but both of them make sense for the most part. So it's like we have no idea where these guys are going to go. We're not going to know until draft night, and that's what makes this draft so fun. So make sure that you tune in for this draft in April.
Yeah, I have a feeling it'll go nothing like this.
It really might not. But thank you guys for tuning in alongside Landon Thomas. Here to break down college football scouting going into the NFL and seeing what happens in 2026 with this draft. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to see where guys like Bailey, where guys like Downs, Tate, Maui Noah, all these guys are kind of just a toss-up on where they'll be at. So stay tuned for the NFL draft this April, and thank you for listening, and let's have a great season. Thank you.